unfortunately, I have some bad news. There is coolant, so it looks like the job that we just done was for nothing. Welcome back, everybody. So the plan for today is to get the Audi head fully rebuilt and back on the car so it starts, it drives, and we can finally hear it run. The turbo for the Ford still hasn't arrived and it probably won't be here today. It'll be here tomorrow, I guess. So pretty much the only job we have for today is to do the head rebuild and get the Audi all put back together. I don't know if I'll get everything done today, but I'm pretty sure we'll get to the point where we can crank the car over and get it started. From the video from yesterday, we had Craig saying that you repeat yourself a lot in this video. I know you're thinking out loud, but you could have said it once or twice. And I know it's a lot of work to video yourself doing the work, but I'd like to see it. You're doing great. I'm looking forward to seeing more of your work. Oh, and I like that you don't have music playing over your speech. So yeah, I do notice sometimes that I do repeat myself, but as you said, I'm just thinking out loud of what job to do first. And when I'm filming the video, it's spaced over the whole day. So then when I mention it to myself, the same job a few times so I don't forget it, I mention it on camera as well. But then when I make the video of like 20-30 minutes, it seems like I'm saying it over and over again. So I'm gonna try not to mention the same thing over and over again. I'm still getting used to filming myself, filming when I'm working, and as I said, I have a new baby at home. I'm working in the garage, I have a job, so I have a lot of work and a lot on my plate. So hopefully as time goes on, I'll get better at talking to the camera because, well, it just doesn't come naturally to me. And hopefully the content improves and you enjoy watching my videos more and more as time goes on. So thanks for the feedback. It does really matter because now I can make my videos a bit better for someone else to watch. Also, Craig said, I'm watching your video now, you're doing great. I'm wondering if the turbo will be okay for resale. Apparently they have to be properly balanced. If they're not, the fins can break and get stuck into the engine. Good luck though. So yeah, I looked into the turbo rebuilds a lot, and if you want to rebuild like the actual internals, you need to get a balancing machine, which is like 10,000 euros, which we're definitely not going to buy at the moment. But I found a supplier that sells the internals already balanced. So when I buy them, they will come balanced with a warranty, with like papers, with everything. So then when I put the internals into a turbo and sell it, I can give that person a warranty. If something does happen, I can take it back, inspect it, send it back, replace it and stuff like that. So at the moment, we're not going to make as much money doing the rebuilds because I'm going to buy already pre-balanced internals, which costs a lot more than buying non-balanced ones. But I'll save a lot of money in machinery. And as time goes on, if the business does pick up and everything, we're going to buy a balancing machine and then we can do the balancing ourselves, give the warranty and the guarantee ourselves, and then we can make a lot more money. But for now, I don't want to spend 10, 15, 20,000 euros on a business that I don't know if it will be successful. So for now, we're going to just carry on like this, and as time goes on, we'll see. If it's making money, we'll reinvest and upgrade our machinery, equipment, tools, and everything like that. So I think I'm going to leave the Nissan for tomorrow, and the Ford, as I said, the turbo won't be here till tomorrow. So let's get into the garage and start rebuilding the head of the Audi, and fingers crossed we get to hear it run. Okay, I think before we start the job of rebuilding the head, I'm gonna go to the parts shop and get some compound for lapping in the valves, getting a sanding block so I can sand this down as best as possible. I will be putting the cams of the old engine onto the new one, so I need to get probably some oil to go in on the guides and stuff like that. So I think before I do the job, we'll go to the shop and get everything we need. Also, I need to get the head bolts because we're going to replace them with new ones. So before we do anything, let's go to the shop, get everything we need, and then we can come back, lock ourselves into the garage and get the job done fully. Also, I'll pick up some spark plugs for the Ford so we don't have to do it tomorrow. Alright, so I'm back from the shop. I got the head bolts. I got some paste for installing the camshafts again. Compound for sanding down the valves. Just some cleaner, sanding block, some sandpaper, and I think that should be enough for the job that we have planned for today. They didn't have any spark plugs in stock, so I ordered them for tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll have to go back to the shop and pick up some spark plugs when we're doing the Ford. So let's get into the garage, go downstairs and start rebuilding this head. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is clean this up a little bit, flip it over, and we'll get all the valves seated nicely. Once all the valves are seated nicely, we can then install them fully, put in the springs, everything like that. And then I'll move on to taking out the camshaft from this engine, the pump, and then putting it onto this engine. We also have the wiring loom that needs to come out of this. And in here, I think also the thermostat, few bits basically, but I think we'll start with doing the valves because that was the last thing I took out of the engine. So when we're assembling, I think it should be the first things that we put back. So let's clean this up, flip it around and start putting in the valves.
Get away from this, baby, just a back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just a back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah.
Okay, so we've lapped all the valves, so all the seats are now nice, clean and even. Same on the actual valves, all nice and clean. So we shouldn't have any problems with the valves. Now I think I'm just going to use some cleaner and the air compressor, clean out all the little holes, the insides of here, and then we can start putting the valves actually back in. Once the valves are actually back in, we'll flip it around and start getting everything from here onto here.
Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah.
part I hate the most is now we have to get the springs back in, which is easy. But then we have to get these little things inside, 2 of them on each side, and then release, and hopefully they hold and don't fall out. So yeah, it's a tedious job, but there isn't any other way, I guess. We have to get it done. Okay, we got the first one in. It actually wasn't too bad, but now we have 7 more to go. So let's just crack on and get it done.
Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just leave this night, please don't look back, yeah.
Okay, so that's all the valves back into place. I've cleaned it up as much as I could. Now it's time to dismantle this and start putting everything from here to here. I technically could put this head onto the engine and then swap everything over, but I think while we're here on the table nice and clean, I can do everything much better. So I think I'm going to start with removing the pump, the thermostat, or whatever this is. Take all these out, take the cam out, take the wiring loom out, put everything nicely, get rid of this head, and then we'll start putting everything back.
Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just leave this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just leave this night, please don't look back, yeah.
Okay, so we pretty much have the whole engine dismantled. We just have a bracket left here and a locator pin, which we can remove it a little bit later. But yeah, we have everything out, lined up. Now we just literally need to clean and inspect everything, put some oil on it, and put everything back into place. Once everything is back in place, we're gonna head upstairs and get the block prepared. So let's not waste any more time and get this head put all back together.
Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just leave this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just leave this night, please don't look back, yeah.
Okay, so that's the camshaft back into place. I'm not going to torque the bolts just yet. When we get the head onto the engine, I'll torque them then, because now it's moving, so I want to do it properly. So when it's back on the engine, I'll get them torqued down properly. Now all that's left is to get the wire and loom in, which goes in through here, 2 10mm bolts, 2 clips here. Then we need to clean up the pump and put it on this side. Then we can get the thermostat on as well. So let's get them few bits put back, and that's it. The head of the engine will be finished and we can go upstairs and get the block ready.
Get away from this, baby, just get back, yeah. Just this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just get back, yeah. Just this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just get back, yeah. Just this night.
Okay, so that's the head of the engine pretty much done. Well, we've taken everything that we need to take from this except this locating pin. So I'm not going to put this into the head of the engine. I'm going to put this into the block of the engine. So the head gasket has a guide to sit exactly where it needs to sit. But yeah, it looks like we're done down here. And finally, we can move upstairs and start getting the block ready. It just needs a little sand down, and once it's a little bit sanded down, put the guide pins in, get the head gasket on, drop the head onto the top, use the new bolts that we got and tie the head down. I still need to go and get a torque wrench, but I think I might just get the block ready, get the gasket on, hand tighten the bolts, and then we'll run down, get the torque wrench, come back, torque down all the head bolts, and then start connecting everything back together. One more thing that I forgot, we still need to remove the old glow plugs and put them into this engine. But I might do that when the head is already on the car, because I don't know if you can see the actual glow plugs, they stick out a little bit, and well, if I put the head down somewhere or incorrectly put it down on the block, I don't want them to break off and fall into the cylinder. We'll play it safe and put the glow plugs in once the head of the engine is bolted on. So yeah, that's it. Let's go upstairs and get the block ready. Like I said, I'm not going to do much here. I'm going to remove the locator pins, sand it down evenly, just a little bit, so there's no dirt left. And then we can get the new gasket on and start finally putting this car back together. And hopefully it runs and drives without any issues, because, well, to be fair, I'm just sick of looking at it. Once it's running well, I might change my mind, but now I just want to be done with it. So let's not waste any time and get cracking on.
Get away from this, baby, just get back, yeah. Just this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just get back, yeah. Just this night, please don't look back, yeah.
Okay, so we got the block cleaned up and have the new gasket on. So now pretty much all that's left is to put the head on and bolt it down. And then obviously we still have to put everything else around the engine onto the head. But I'm pretty sure the main issue of the engine is fixed. Unless there's something else wrong with the pistons or the bottom end. But I mean, the car ran and it ran pretty okay, considering there was a chunk missing out of the head. So let's just hope that once we get this put all back together, there isn't any issues. So that's it. I'm gonna bring the head up and let's get it on.
Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah. Oh, get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah.
Okay, so actually it's the following day. I didn't get enough time yesterday to finish it. It got too late. But the head is on, the head gasket is on, the head is bolted down, it's torqued down. I still have to torque the cams and start putting everything on around the engine. Get the injectors in, glow plugs, exhaust, EGR, everything else that needs to be connected, we need to connect. Get the timing done. Once all the pipes are connected and the timing is done, I think we can get it started. We don't need the auxiliary belt or the radiators or the coolant or anything like that. So yeah, what I might start with is torquing down the camshaft so I don't forget. Then we'll get the injectors in and maybe we'll even put on the rocker cover, because once the EGR is on, it's hard to get the cover on properly and nicely. So I might just finish everything here on the top, turn the engine around, make sure nothing is hitting anything or touching anything like it shouldn't be, and then we can put on the rocker cover. Also, the Ford owner brought down the turbo. He got this bolt here repaired. It's not too great of a job, and the bolt is actually bigger than the original holes, so I might have to drill the bit in the engine. So that's a pain in the ass job, but yeah, we still need to get this on today. So again, I'm debating which jobs to do first. Should I do the Ford, get it done and get it out of the way so I don't have to rush the Audi, and then we can take our time with this car. What I might do is just torque down the cam, get the injectors in, rocker cover, and once the top of the engine is done, we'll go quickly, fit the turbo to the Ford, get the spark plugs for it. The owner asked us to change them, and then once the Ford is out of the way, we can come back and fit everything around the engine. And by the end of this video, you'll finally be able to hear the Audi running with the new head gasket, with the new head of the engine, and hopefully it doesn't need anything else. So let's get to work.
Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah.
Okay, so I torqued down the camshaft, but it just didn't feel right. It just felt a little bit too loose, but they are stretch bolts. So I've just decided not to risk it because I don't want to have any more problems with this car, and when I sell it, I don't want the new owner to have any problems. So I'm just gonna go and buy new bolts for the camshaft. While I'm there, I'm gonna also buy new bolts for the injectors. And then also we'll get new seals, like a new repair kit for the injector as well. So pretty much the whole top of the engine is gonna be rebuilt with new bolts, new seals, new everything. Obviously we didn't change this seal, but it was fine. It wasn't leaking. It didn't have any parachments on it. We didn't change any of the shims, but they looked in very good condition also. So I'm gonna go down to the shop, get the new bolts, get all the repair kits. Also while I'm there, I'm gonna pick up the spark plugs for the Ford. I think when we get back, like I said, I'll rebuild the top of the engine and then get the turbo onto the Ford, get him out of the way, and then continue and do everything else on this car. So let's go get all the bits, come back and get to work. Right, so we're back from the shop. So we got 10 bolts for the camshaft, we got 4 bolts for the injectors, and then we got the actual injector washers and the O-rings that go here, here, and here. So if we're doing it, might as well do it properly. So let's get the top of this engine rebuilt as quick as possible, and then we can move on and get the spark plugs changed in the Ford, slap on the turbo, and finally finish this Audi.
Get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah. Oh, get away from this, baby, just step back, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah.
Okay, so I tightened the camshaft to 5 Newton meters and then 90 degrees. The new bolts seemed a little bit tighter, so I'm happy enough that I didn't leave it with the old ones. Now what I'm going to do is rebuild the injectors and get them in. Right, so I got all the injectors rebuilt, so I guess it's time to put them back in. Right, the holes were quite clean. I just want to make them super duper clean. Alright, so time to get the first injector back. I do have a little bit of oil that I'm going to put on each seal. Okay, now let's get the holders in place. Right, so the injectors are sort of in, the holders are there. Let's get the new bolts. So we have new bolts. Right, let's make sure that the injectors are straight. Right, now we're just going to torque them down to spec, and that's going to be the injectors in fully. Okay, so I have the torque wrench set to 12 Newton meters. We'll torque them down to 12 Newton meters, and then we need to do 270 turn. So we'll do 3 90-degree turns, and that should be the injectors all good. Okay, so that's all tightened down to 12 Newton meters. Now we need to do 3 sets of 90 degrees. That's one. Two. And three. And that's it. Injectors are done. Cam is done. Now I guess we need to put on the arms for the injectors, and that's going to be everything done with the top of the engine. Alright, let's get these bolts screwed down and torqued. Okay, so these need to go down to 20 Newton meters and then 90 degrees. So let's get them torqued down to 20. Okay, so now we need to do a 90 turn again on each one. And then that's pretty much going to be everything done. I might adjust the injectors, but I want to turn the engine over a few times before I do the injector adjustment.
Get away from this, baby, just a yeah. Just this night.
Okay, so that's the tub done pretty much. What I'm going to do now is put the new turbo onto the Ford, swap the spark plugs, and get him out of the way. Then we can come back here, start getting the timing back on, putting all the pipes, exhaust, EGRs, everything back around it. Then we can turn the engine over a few times, adjust the injectors, put the cover on, and in this video you'll hear it start. So let's not waste daylight and get to work.
Please don't look back. Yeah. Get away from this, baby, just a yeah. Just this night. Please don't look back. Yeah. Get away from this, baby, just a yeah. Just this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just a yeah. Just this night, please don't look back, yeah.
So finally the turbo is put in, everything is connected. I put new spark plugs in. Yesterday I cleaned out the intercooler pipes. So now it's finished. We can give it a start and see how it sounds. Right, it sounded a lot better, but still not okay. So I checked the oil and it's on the low side of oil. So we're gonna fill up some oil. Also, it's a bit low on antifreeze. So we're gonna put antifreeze oil in it and then check it again. All right, so the Ford is still not running as good as I'd like. It's low on oil. I didn't have enough oil to fill it up to the point where it needs to be. So that means when the turbo went, it sucked all the oil out to the exhaust. Also, this pipe broke. I tried to repair it, but it's still leaking. So I've told the owner that he needs to get me a new pipe and that we need to do an oil change on it, remove the exhaust and get all the oil out of the exhaust cleaned properly. But I'm not doing any of that today. Let's continue working on the Audi so we can get it started. And once I get it started, that'll be it for today. I'm gonna go home, edit the video and upload it for you. And then in the next video, we're gonna finish putting everything back together, bring it out, go for a drive, get it cleaned. Maybe I'm gonna put other wheels on it because I'm not really a big fan of these ones. We'll buy some touch-up paint, clean the inside, and get the car listed for sale. So hopefully we get rid of it quick and we keep moving on, because the Nissan that we bought hasn't sold for ages. So I'm hoping at least this will sell quick, and then tomorrow we can get the Nissan done and get rid of it as well, because once we do the inspection, it should be sold quite quickly. So this week we need to do the Nissan, get this Audi, get everything listed, and hopefully something sells so we can keep moving on. So now I'm gonna start rebuilding the front of the engine, get the timing belt on, the tensioners, everything like that, so we can turn it over and see how it sounds, if it's not hitting anything, if everything is moving how it should move. Then we're gonna adjust the injectors, put on the rocker cover, and that's it. So let's get to work.
Get away from this, baby, just a dive, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah. Get away from this, baby, just a dive, yeah. Just live this night, please don't look back, yeah.
Okay, so the timing belt is on. I spun it around like 10-20 times maybe, and put in the locking pins, and they went straight in. So I'm guessing the timing is good. The belt looks tight enough in all places. So let's hope none of this falls apart once we start it. So now I think I'm gonna do the injectors, then we can get the cover on and everything else connected that needs to be connected for it to start. So I'm just gonna get to work, and once I have everything done, I'll give you an update, because I am on limited time. So I'm just gonna try to get this done as quick as possible, and then I'll give you an update when it's ready to start. So, unfortunately, I have some bad news. So, as you've seen, the first start up was fine. Everything sounded perfectly. So, I got everything put back together, filled it up with coolant, and gave it another start. And from what I can see, there is coolant coming out from the head. So, it looks like the job that we just done was for nothing. Oh, I'm fucking disappointed. I thought that was it. We're finally done. But it looks like we'll be removing the fucking head of the engine again. The first startup we done was without any coolant in the engine. But I just can't think of any ideas why this would happen. Everything was torqued down as it should be. New head gasket. I got everything nicely prepared. Everything was clean. I just don't know. I don't know. So, unfortunately, I have to end this video on a bad note. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I just don't know what to do with the car anymore. I really don't want to take this engine apart again. If you can think of any reasons why this happened, let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do. Helps the channel grow and encourages me to keep making these videos for you. See ya. Till next time.
Get away from me.